So this is the doodle note, or not the doodle note, this is the foldable for chapter 3, lesson 2 for slope. I just wanted to go over it and talk to you a little bit more about it, okay, in depth. So it gives you a couple of different things. So the first thing is there is a blank here, right there. In that blank, slope is the rise over the run, okay? So it's one way to describe slope is rise over run, okay? So the first thing I'm going to look at is what is the definition of slope, okay? So slope is the steepness of a straight line. Some of the methods that you can use to determine slope are the slope formula, the graph, and a table. I can determine the slope given 2 points. So for example, I have -2, 3, and 4, -1. So I can take this y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, okay? So for this one, right, I'm going to go ahead and do this over here. I'm going to take my slope formula, okay, and I was given the points -2, 3, and 4, -1. So the first thing I want to do is I want to look at what I'm trying to figure out. So y2, so this is my second y point that I was given, is that one. y1, first y point. x2, minus x1. Okay? So I'm going to take -1 minus 3 over 4 minus a -2. Okay, and I'm going to simplify this. -1 minus 3 gives me a -4. 4 minus a -2 gives me 6. So -4, 6, which can be simplified. I divide both of these by 2. So I get -2/3. Okay, so -2/3. So that's determining the slope given 2 points. Okay. The next flap I have down here is determine the slope of the following graph. So I'm given this graph, right? So I'm going to take, you can see there's there's 3 points here on the line. I'm given 0.0, 5, 3, 3, and 6, 1. Completely up to you which ones you decide to use. I'm going to use 0, 5, and 3, 3. Okay. So again, you can look at the graph and try to determine it that way, or you can use the slope formula. So I'm going to do y, so this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to take 3 minus 5 over 3 minus 0. 3 minus 5 is -2. 3 minus 0 is 3. So I get -2/3. Okay. So the graph, the slope of this graph is -2/3. So every time I go down 2 and to the right 3, I get to my next point. Down 2 to the right 3. Okay? So my slope is -2/3. All right, the other one I have is determine the slope of the following table. So again, I'm given a bunch of different points. So I can do the same type of thing. So I can look at the change in Y. Okay, so if I go from 40 to 80, the change there was 40. 80 to 120 is 40. 120 to 160 is 40. So you can see the pattern there. They're going by 40s. Okay. You go from 0 to 10, that's 10. 10 to 20 is 10. 20 to 30 is 10. 30 to 40 is 10. So I get 40 over 10, which is the same thing as 4 over 1. So my slope is 4. Okay. Other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is slope. So if slope is positive, okay, it looks like this. It's going uphill. It's an uphill. Positive slope goes up. Okay? A negative slope goes downhill. From left to right, downhill, okay? A zero slope is a horizontal line. It goes straight across, okay? The slope doesn't change. There's slope, remember, is the change of rise over run, okay? So if horizontal, there's a zero slope. The last type is an undefined slope, and that's a vertical line. So when you have a vertical line, that's an undefined slope. Okay, and that is the end of Chapter 2, Lesson 3.